Morning, everybody.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to the, what is today, September 8th meeting of the Palm Beach County Planning Commission. May we have a roll call, please?
Sarah Pardue. John Carr.
Here.
Rick Stopik.
Here.
Barbara Roth.
Here.
Dagmar Bras.
Here.
Marissa Laudas. Penny Pompey. Sam Caliendo.
Here.
Lori Benicor.
Here.
Kylie Harper Larson.
Here.
Ankur Patel.
Here.
Oh, here he is.
Angela Van.
Here.
Brian Stenberg.
Here.
David Searle.
Here.
We have quorum.
Wow, we got a full house. Excellent. Okay, please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, and do we have proof of publication?
Good morning, and yes, Chair, we do.
Thank you, sir. And any postponements, issues with the agenda?
No postponements and no modifications to the agenda.
Cool, very good. Moving right along, we have the minutes from the August 11th meeting. I've looked them over. To me, they looked fine. If anyone has any changes or questions on the amendment on the minutes, no. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
I'll motion to approve the minutes of the August 11th meeting.
Thank you, Lori. Barbara, second. All in favor? Aye. Good. Thank you. Okay. Next, we have any comments by the public on non-agenda items? Seeing none. Comments by the chair? I got nothing. It's been quiet. I hope everybody had a good summer, and the kids are back in school, and everybody's getting back on a normal schedule. With any luck, when next we meet, the weather will be a little bit more palatable. But other than that, the chair has no comments. So let's move right into item 3A1. This is Verdura Farms, and
Chair, I need to recuse myself. I have a business relationship with one of the applicants for this item, and I've properly submitted my Form 8B to the county attorney, and it has been reviewed by the Ethics Commission.
Thank you, Kylie. We appreciate you bringing that to the Commission's attention, and Kylie will then step down for this issue, and we'll move on to item 3A1, which is the Verdura Farms. Who shall we hear from first? The applicant?
Yes, we'll begin with a presentation by the applicant, followed by Melissa Michael with the Planning Division.
Okay, great. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Planning Commission. Thanks for the time this morning. Tyler Woolsey with Urban Design Studio on behalf of the applicant property owners. Thank you. All right, we can start. You're good. You're good. Yes, thank you. All right, thank you all. Tyler Woolsey on behalf of the applicant. I'm here to speak with you this morning about the Verdura Farms Comp Plan Text Amendment and future land use amendment requests. We're here talking about the request for transmittal today. You would have seen this application before, and I'll speak to that here in a moment. To give you a little bit of context, the property we're talking about is in western central part of the county on the west side of State Road 7, just south of the intersection with Hypoluxa Road. You see that the property called out in the red outline here. It's just north of a property you may be familiar with known as the Trotting Center, which came through this similar process over this past year, and you would have seen a couple times as part of their Trotting Center overlay, which again I'll speak to here in a moment, and the approvals that they've recently received. We'll continue to refer back to that. So the request that we're here to speak to you about today is twofold. One is the Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment. We are requesting to expand that Trotting Center overlay to include the subject property we're speaking of today, as well as a future land use amendment to go from the RR10 rural residential designation to the LR2 low density residential designation. We do also have a concurrent zoning application that's in process with the county right now. So here briefly, and I won't go through this, these are the red lines that you see here, the proposed amendments to the Trotting Center overlay that we are requesting. I will jump quickly to this table that we've prepared, which summarizes what modifications we're looking for. The Trotting Center overlay that this board would have seen several months back and that the BCC adopted back in February, I believe it was, has outlined several standards for development here in this Trotting Center overlay. The approval process is standard, requiring the concurrent future land use and zoning. We're not proposing to change that. The one item that we are proposing to change is to reduce the minimum acreage from 100 acres to 95 acres. The subject property that we're speaking of today is 96 acres, and so in order to accommodate this property, its inclusion in the overlay, we're requesting that text change. There's a maximum density established by this overlay of no more than 2 dwelling units an acre. We're proposing no change there. Workforce housing units and TDR density bonuses are not permitted out here in the rural tier of the county. No change there. We are proposing to modify the location of the overlay to include the subject property, as I had mentioned. So that is a minor change to the description of the boundaries of the overlay. And then the overlay establishes design features which require transition of lot sizes, requirements for expanded buffers, requirements that 100% of the vegetation in those buffers be native landscaping, requirements that the access for development in this area is exclusive to State Road 7 and that all urban services are coming from services available from State Road 7. All of those will remain the same. We're proposing no changes there. And essentially the purpose of those is to ensure that development within the Trotting Center overlay respects the rural character of the surrounding Heritage Farms community. And so with that, that is the text change that we are looking for there. And the future land use amendment that goes along with that, as you see here, is the request from RR10 to the LR2 that is permitted by that overlay. And I call back to the Trotting Center property just south of us that you see there represented in LR2. This really is a mirror request to what you've seen from them. The only discrepancy is that we're at 95 acres and they were at 100. The density that we are looking for here, while the overlay does allow up to 2 dwelling units an acre, the applicant's proposing 145 units for a density of 1.5 dwelling units an acre. And so these requests will ultimately help to allow this master plan that you're seeing here. We are in a master plan level phase right now, and so that's why you're not seeing the lots laid out. But generally speaking, you see the way that the overlay design criteria come into play with access off of State Road 7 leading into the site where you see, the lots area that will be in yellow here. Be smaller lots, and then as you move to the west, you see a transition in lot sizes up to ½ acre, and then 1 acre, and then 3 acre lots along the western property line here. And so that transition of density that's required by the overlay allows for this really contextual design that ensures a compatibility at the State Road 7 entry, and then compatibility as you move towards the larger lots to the west for the Heritage Farms community. And so I will speak to you also briefly on how we got here. This process occurred through extensive community outreach with Heritage Farms. Pulte and DeVosta, the applicant, are very, very good about their community outreach. They started the process in speaking with the Heritage Farms representatives before they submitted any application, about 6 months beforehand. And so back just over a year ago now, in July of last year, we started conversations as the Trotting Center was also in preliminary conversations with the community. And as they worked through the project with the Trotting Center, they started to identify a lot of these things that ultimately became formalized in the overlay. And we thought, all of those were very good planning practices. And so we continued conversations with Heritage Farms about how those planning principles would apply to the development of this site. And ultimately, through almost just over a year of coordination with Heritage Farms so far, and what will ultimately be just over 18 months of coordination, we have a plan that is supported by the community, and that truly the design has been led through the coordination with the community. And so I think we all feel very good about where we've landed on this design today. And so I'll remind of some prior action on these applications. This board saw the proposed comp plan amendment back in January of this year and recommended initiation. The BCC saw the same comp plan amendment in February and recommended initiation as well, approved for initiation. And then, most recently, we're here before you for the transmittal, and planning staff is recommending approval with conditions. And so I will close just speaking to the proposed conditions. The standard planning conditions that you tend to see with comparable applications, we're in agreement with conditions 1 and 3 fully, and staff within their staff report has identified a standard staff proposed condition, which you typically see is a request for 10% of the total units to be provided as on-site workforce housing. Through coordination with staff and again with the community, we have made a request, and staff has already accommodated an off-site alternative that if the board and then ultimately the BCC were to support our request for off-site workforce housing, what you see there is an off-site or alternative condition that's been drafted by your planning staff, and that we're requesting that your motion for recommendation today include support for that off-site alternative condition there. And so with that, I'll close and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. We'll be back shortly for that. Thank you very much. Okay, now may we hear from Melissa?
Good morning.
Morning.
Melissa Michael with the Planning Division. Before you today is Verdura Farms. They have a request for 2 parts, the text amendment and the flu amendment. I'll go over the text amendment first. As you can see, the Trotting Center overlay currently as it is outlined there in yellow. As you know, text amendments must be initiated by the BCC before it is submitted for staff review. And in February, the BCC initiated a text amendment to create the overlay, which you see before you today. Following the adoption of the Trotting Center, the applicant revised their text amendment and proposed to expand the Trotting Center overlay's northern boundary, as you can see there, and then Verdura Farms is shaded in red, to include the subject site, and it proposes to decrease the minimum development size from 100 to 95, and to designate the site as a limited urban service area. The flu amendment, as Tyler stated, is to change the future land use designation from RR10 to LR2 on the 96-acre site, and the applicant is proposing 145 units, which equates to about 1.5 dwelling units per acre. And there's a concurrent zoning application to rezone from agriculture residential to planned unit development. Staff assessment concludes that the proposed amendment is justified considering the development pattern established by the Trotting Center overlay. The Trotting Center overlay provides transitional residential densities and design elements that are compatible with the rural lifestyle in the Heritage Farms area. And the applicant today is proposing development which meets the intent and criteria of the overlay, including the transition of lot sizes, expanded buffers with native vegetation, and limiting access to State Road 7 only. Therefore, staff is recommending approval with conditions. There are 3 conditions of approval. Staff is proposing to limit the site to a maximum of 145 units with no additional bonus density. And then for the second condition, consistent with past board directions, staff is recommending that 10% of the total units be required as workforce housing, and that those workforce housing units be provided on-site. Or, as Tyler stated, the applicant would like to use an off-site option, either the off-site construction, same developer, or off-site construction exchange builder option of the ULDC. Should the board opt to allow the applicant to provide the workforce housing off-site, staff has drafted that alternative condition, number 2, limiting it to those 2 disposition methods because they are intended to ensure that the workforce housing units are actually constructed, and as they don't allow for payment of an in-lieu fee. And then the third condition is that both this application and the zoning application be heard at the same time for adoption with the board. And that concludes my presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much. At this time, we have 1 public comment card. Risa McCarraher has requested to speak. If you'd like to come up to podium 1, please. So 2 of them are speaking.
I don't really have much to
Could you
say.
just state your name and address for the record? I'm sorry.
Risa McCarraher, 6569 Park Lane East, Heritage Farms.
Thank you so much.
No problem. I just want this to be it. This is it. Please do not allow any further deterioration of Heritage Farms. It's 200 acres out of our rural tier. The rural tier is supposed to be protected. That is supposed to be the top level of protection that this county can provide us. And clearly that means nothing. We are working to seek an overlay for the rest of our community. And I'm just, asking that this be the last piece that you guys let go. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Now I'd ask my colleagues on the dais if they have any questions for either the applicant or the county. Let's start, I'll start to my right today.
Nope.
No?
I just have one question to staff. Has traffic looked at this with this amount of access from State Road 7, that there's not going to need a light there or something? And does it come into being that you have enough distance between lights to do that?
Is anyone here from traffic?
Or engineering?
So we don't have anyone here from traffic at the moment, but as part of the application review process, traffic did review that and did not identify the need for, based on this number of units, an additional light at the location.
Just seems awful tight.
Okay, back to Dagmar then.
I'm sorry, I do have a question. The Civic, my understanding is the Civic site that's on 441 is going to be county-owned. Is that correct?
Do you know?
I mean, I just was,
Yeah, so it'll be a public civic.
a public
site, right.
civic site, yes. Are there any ideas? Are we talking fire station? Are we talking, or is this just, to put in the inventory for just in case in the future we need something? Does anybody have any ideas what could be possibly proposed?
We'll let the applicant address that.
Yeah, happy to answer. So PRIM, the county division at PRIM coordinates what goes into public civic pods, what uses ultimately get assigned and developed there. PRIM has asked us to reserve concurrency for 4 single-family dwelling units in that civic pod. We are still within the DRO review process for the PUD application, so we'll continue to coordinate with both PRIM and zoning to determine ultimately what use they would like us to reserve concurrency for. But as of right now, it's 4 single-family homes.
Wendy from zoning is going to correct that.
Hello, Wendy from zoning. I just want to counter that 4 dwelling units will not be on that. PREM may ask, but they cannot take density or extract density from this applicant. So it'll be a non-residential use on the property on whatever they determine it to be.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dagmar. John, anything? Penny? No. No? Hunker?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mine's good.
I don't think this is right.
Here, what's that?
Turn it on.
Hello? Sorry. First question for staff. When you look at the comp plan applications of justification, future land use balance and adjacent and surrounding development, zero lot lines, how does that fall into play with that? This is rural tier. Rural tier does not have the ability to do zero lot lines. And that's going to be still the underlying for this PUD application. So how do you satisfy that in the comp plan?
So the zero lot lines will be located closer to State Road 7. As Mr. Wolseley mentioned, there's going to be a transition of lot sizes. So there will be 3-acre lot sizes, 1 acre down to ½ acre, and then the zero lot lines will be located.
Right, but that's an internal justification. With the surrounding properties, how does that satisfy? Because right next to it, if everybody is at 1 per 10 acre or 1 per 5 acre, how does that zero lot line match that? The urban sprawl will look significant based on that right off the road.
So this would be limited to, because you're correct, in the rural tier, the comprehensive plan lays out what the allowable residential future land use designations are, and LR2 is not one of those. What the Trotting Center overlay did was allow for that urban-suburban tier type land use density up to LR2 just within that overlay. So what this would do is expand the Trotting Center overlay to allow that overall density of no more than 2, although they're coming in under that figure. So it would not be able to spread, say, further into Heritage Farms. It's contained within this overlay area.
I'm not questioning the density. I'm okay with the density part of it. My question is specifically about zero lot line homes and the compatibility with the surrounding area. Comp plan is fairly specific. It has to be compatible. Rural tier, anywhere in the county, zero lot line is not compatible. So how are we justifying that?
Again, within, this is allowing for up to that 2 units per acre, and that's why they've proposed the provision of the varying lot sizes getting larger to the west and the zero lot lines closest to State Road 7, so there's no prohibition of the zero lot lines.
All right, same thing in the comp plan. We talk about not piecemealing properties. We're piecemealing properties into the overlay. How are we justifying that this is not a piecemeal?
So we already have, so the board already approved and adopted the Trotting Center development adjacent and to the south. So this is, you know, it's not jumping over to a different location. It's an expansion of, you know, an overlay that the board has already adopted.
Okay. Well, I think I can go down the comp plan on growth management. I think zero lot line everywhere in the comp plan I'm seeing does not get satisfied. I'm okay with the density part that you guys are doing. I'm not sure if I'm okay with the urban sprawl that is happening because of that in the rural development. The other question that I have is on the workforce housing part. When you give them option 2, they do have the ability to sell to another developer, or buy from the other developer, however you want to call it, the right. So there is a money exchange option. The developer that is assigned the right, what guarantees that the county has that they won't go belly up and it won't get constructed?
I'll start and then I'll let Maria jump in. But through our monitoring process, so there's different thresholds at issuance of building permits. So if the obligation has not been met, that would hold up a issuance of building permits for continued development. But I'll let Maria jump
Yeah,
in.
that's exactly right with the developer, the same developer doing the off-site units. With the exchange program, the developer is done once the exchange deal has been made, and instead the county receives surety that reflects 80% of what would have been the in lieu fee for the units. And there are also some checkpoints, 3 years, a couple of opportunities for extensions, but if those are not ultimately met, then the county has the ability to cash the surety.
Okay, so at the end of the day, it's still a monetary exchange, and the developer is free to develop and get their CO, irrespective if workforce housing is done or not.
That was exactly the purpose of the exchange option when that was put into the code in 2019.
Okay. All right, no more questions for now.
Thank you. Barb?
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate the good questions of my colleague. I do remember, however, that we dealt with these issues, concerns, and questions last winter, both at this board and then when it went to the BCC. And it is the very nature of the overlay which allows for these applications. On a personal note, I understand the work, the effort that has gone in between the residents of Heritage Farms and the planners and developers in this case, and my congratulations to both sides of that negotiation. It's been long discussed, and I, for one, am pleased with the resolution. Thank you.
Lord.
Yes. I have a few questions here.
Can you just refresh our memories on the Trotting Center? How many workforce housing units are they obligated to provide for the 166?
So the board adopted that with a condition for 10% off-site.
10% off-site. Okay. I think it's very good that the staff here wrote that it is consistent and compatible with the surrounding. There are larger parcels in Heritage Farms, but this is something 2 units per acre or 1.5 units per acre that's a good transition from that agricultural enclave there. But about the workforce housing in this particular area, in the agricultural reserve, which is just adjacent to it, we have the essential housing, and we are concerned. The essential housing is along Atlantic and Boynton, and that's where it's designated. And we're concerned about mass transit. Possibly, there are no lines out there right now. So I could see the point where the workforce housing here, the 10%, they might want to do it off-site, somewhere more toward where there is more mass transit. But I would expect that people would have their own cars, mobility, and all out there, but that is an issue. Is there any plan for this that we have? Have you worked with the TPA on this to bring some bus lines out there?
So what we've found with the, when you look at the income categories in the workforce housing program and what those equate to, whether it's a for sale product or a rental product, the majority of the residents are means that have vehicles. So we're not, with the workforce housing program, not seeing a transit-dependent population in the units.
Mm-hmm.
I know there is. I'll bring up in a minute the route map. I know State Road 7, at least north of here, has some bus routes. I'm just not exactly sure how far south on State Road 7 they extend, but I think it's further north towards
not
Wellington.
that area.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The zero lot line homes, would they be expected to be the workforce housing units? If they needed to put the 10% on site, is that what they're thinking about?
Well,
maybe if the developer could come up here, the applicant, and I just wanted to know also about if you could also comment on, it's very good that you worked with neighbors. The community outreach is really excellent that you did, and I wanted to know what the community seems to think that they could use the recreational pod for.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So the workforce housing, as requested, we're looking to take them off-site. Pulte works across the county, and they're actually right now working on a project in downtown Boynton Beach where those workforce units would be single-family homes. And so the zero lot lines on property are not intended to be workforce housing. Workforce housing is requested to be off-site and is intended to be in Boynton Beach. As far as the recreation pod, when you do a PUD, the county requires a certain acreage of recreation for your community. And so we haven't fully programmed. We're still in the zoning process, so we haven't fully programmed what the recreation pod will be, but it will be comparable to what you would tend to see in PUDs across this area of the county with a clubhouse and, a pool and some recreation facilities for the larger community.
Okay, and just one other question of staff. When the two staff propose and 2 off-site alternative, did you consider if they build off-site, there should be a higher percentage than that they should build? Remember, we many times are asking developers to have 25% workforce housing. So did you ever consider that?
I may have Maria jump in too, but I know within the code, correct me if I'm wrong, so in this case, it's a for sale community. So that's where the 10% on-site staff recommendation comes. If they are to do off-site as a rental, there's a 1.5 multiplier.
Yeah, a couple things going on here. Because this is an amendment, the board has given us direction in the past to make a recommendation for their consideration of certain percentages for projects that are seeking amendments to increase density. Those percentages are 10% for single family, 20% for townhomes, and 25% for multifamily. So that's where you've seen the 25% before. Now, separate from that, the code does have the 1.5 multiplier that Mr. Fisher was referencing, which is that if a developer of a for-sale project chooses to provide its units as its workforce units for its workforce obligation as rentals, the number of units that are required is increased by 50%, so that 1.5 multiplier.
Oh, thank you for that, Maria.
Is it, Angela?
Just more of an observation than a comment for staff and for the county. I mean, as long as I've been on this board, I've seen projects come forth, and everybody gets the buyout, and every developer puts some off-site. You know, workforce is not necessary. Workforce are firefighters, teachers, planners, people who work like that, so they're not what people consider workforce, the negative connotation that goes with the workforce. That's not it. So we always, and the developers come in, always buy out, always put them probably someplace else, and at some point, and that's more so to the county commission, they got to put their foot down and start letting these developers put this in these developments, and they can do it. It's not like they can't do it, they just don't want to do it, because it's easier to pay the money and buy it out someplace else than to put a lot of teachers who teach their kids and the hospital workers, the nurses and all who can live out here. So I just, more of a comment, we keep seeing this, we keep giving them options. Of course they're going to get the buyout. I would too. It's easier. You don't have to worry about it. But at some point, it's more, I guess, to the county commissioner. At some point, you need to say, no, make these developers put the workforce housing, put the housing in these developments at some point. Because we're not going to get any out here. It's all going to be situated more where they put them more toward these. And that's where they try to put a lot of the workforce housing. So just more of a comment than anything else.
David, anything? No? Okay, Brian? Nothing? And how about Marissa?
No comment.
No comment, okay. No other questions from my colleagues here. I'll entertain a motion on item 3A1. Anyone?
To approve with conditions noted by staff.
Thank you, Penny. Second?
Second.
Second from Barbara. Discussion, and just my only first question is, obviously, it may be a little redundant, has the applicant agreed to all of the conditions that the county has put forth?
Yes, thank you, sir. We are requesting off-site alternative for condition number 2. If you could include that in your motion, we'd appreciate that.
I'll amend the motion to include the option 2 to include off-site workforce housing.
I withdraw my second, Chair.
Okay. Do we have someone that wishes to second the motion?
Second.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Sam? Thank you, Sam. Okay, now, Lori, you had a question?
That was actually going to be my question, because Penny had said with the staff recommended, and staff is recommending that it's on site. And the second, it might be a little confusing for people because it says conditions 1, 2, and 3. But staff proposed, and then there's off-site alternative. So I understand now that it's just what we're voting on here, and what was seconded was the condition 1, 2 staff, 2 off-site alternative, and then 3. That's correct. We're not saying that they have to have it on site with this motion. That's what we're voting for. Just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
That's why I guess Barbara withdrew her.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
To my left, any other comments regarding the motion? Any other questions regarding the motion? To my right? Ungar, did you have?
I mean, my thing is, the only reason I have an issue with this development is they're doing 48 zero-lot homes, which is 1/3 of the density that they're proposing for this site. That's a significant sprawl, whichever way you look at it. If they were doing 10 homes or something off of 145, the percentage would be a lot more acceptable. When you're talking about that tiered sort of system that's going into play, when 48 out of 145 is zero-lot line homes, that's a significant sprawl. I don't know how we don't consider that as a significant sprawl. So I feel that the comp plan is not being addressed, and my vote will fall with the comp plan not being addressed accordingly on this. Now, assuming the motion does go through, I think I would like my fellow guys to keep the workforce on site if possible, because the alternative, like you said, once they pay out, they're not responsible. So if the other homes get developed or not, there's no guarantee. And that's going back to the point that we're in a dire need of affordable housing for, and again, when we're talking about workforce, all the regular employees of the county, and we just don't have affordable for them. They're all living in Port St. Lucie and driving down here. I mean, there's a reason they're doing that, and that's not acceptable at some point. So I think we need to really, as a commission, give a recommendation to not allow this to keep continuing going forward.
Thank you, Ankur. Deb, what did you have a question?
No, actually,
Okay.
you have a question, right?
No.
Sam, no other question? Moving back up, then Barbara, did you have a comment?
I do, thank you, Chair. I don't have a problem with the percentage of zero lot line units. Again, we had this discussion in applying the overlay last winter, both this board and the planning and the BCC. My reason for withdrawing my second is exactly to the point of having those on-site units as workforce housing units. If there will be another motion, should this motion be defeated, then I would certainly support this project with the workforce housing units on site, and I have no problem with the zero lot line. Thank you.
Okay, I think all my colleagues have voiced their concerns. I'd like to call the question and ask for roll call, please, on the motion.
Roll call for option 2. John Carr.
Yes.
Barbara Roth.
This is including...
This is for option 2
Yeah.
with the conditions of approval.
No. Thank you.
Lori Vinegar.
No.
Penny Pompey.
Yes.
Dagmar Bras.
Yes.
Sam Caliendo.
Yes.
Angela Van.
No.
Ankar Patel.
No.
Rick Stopik.
Yes.
David Searle.
Yes.
Brian Stenberg.
Yes.
Barista Laudaus.
No.
7-6.
5-7.
5-7.
Motion passes 7-5.
Okay. Thank you all. Aside from the motion passing, I think this sends a message of the sentiment of the commission that there's a divide and that there's a concern here. And I think on a going forward basis, it's hard when a motion and a project is before us at that very moment to make a stand. But I think on a going forward basis, I'm very sensitive to what Angela brought up. And I think that needs to be factored into further decision making, as well as Ankur's comments, again, with density and encroachment here. So it's hard to do it, at the bottom of the ninth when the motion's before us. But I think on a going forward basis, these things need to be considered and by staff and by the BCC as well. Okay. Thank you all. All right, moving along, we now have item 3A2, the Olympus MUPD.
And yes,
Lori.
Mr. Chair, I have to recuse myself, and I'm told I have to say why, because Paradiso Trovato is the residence that is next to this property, adjacent to this property, and it's my corporation.
I have a question for the attorney.
Yes.
I don't understand why Ms. Vinegar actually has to leave. Her residence is right next door to this project. Is she going to make any money off of this project? Is she in business with this project? Is there any financial interchange between her and this project?
There doesn't have to be a financial interchange. She just has to be in a position where she will get a special financial benefit not shared by those in the community.
And what
So
would that-
potentially by voting against it, she could get another development that might increase the value of her property.
So if she went out and looked, okay, so she has the potential to go out, if this fails, she has the potential to go out to another developer?
No. So the value of her property could be dependent on what is next to her property, right?
Okay.
So if she feels that something else, some other type of development is next to her property, then she could vote against this for that reason. And that is not a proper reason to vote against it. So.
All right, thank you.
But are you saying if she knows somebody that lives there, let's say she didn't live there, let's say she knew somebody that did, does she have to recuse herself as well? Because
No, it only extends to family members and the individual.
Strange.
It's the way the code is written. I didn't write it.
Very strange.
Better to be safe than sorry, I suppose. Okay, fair enough. Okay, having said that, let's see who we have here for the agent. George,
Yes, sir.
please. Angel, would you mind coming? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. 15 minutes, if that's acceptable, sir, if you'd like to
Yes,
begin.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Fine. Mr. Chair, Commissioners, for the record, George Gentile representing the Olympus MUPD and the applications that we have in front of you today. Can you hear me all right?
I hear you fine.
Okay, very good. Our request today is to revise the comprehensive plan to allow sites north of Lorena Road to take advantage of the Commerce future land use element, and also to revise that language to with very simply stating that located with frontage and access on State Road 7, north of Lorena Road, Atlantic Avenue, Boynton Beach Boulevard, or have access to these roadways through the existing commercial or industrial sites located on the west of State Road 7, must share a common border with property with commercial or industrial land uses. The property that's before you meets all that criteria with the exception of the text amendment we're asking for on the comp plan. We are adjacent to an industrial land use site, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. And I think most of you are familiar with this. We came before you to ask for the text amendment for the change in the comp plan, but today we also have in front of you the FLU application, and we have a supplement MUPD application in for the project. Again, the request for the comp plan amendment, I'm doing these kind of together so that we can get through them, and I think I don't know how they'll make their motions, and the attorney will tell you. But anyway, the site is 6.33 acres. It's existing right now vacant. The southern parcel was formerly a landscape business. Future land use is currently AGR. The current zoning is AGR. Potential future land use we're asking for in this request is the commerce. Potential zoning, we have an application in concurrently with this that will come after, which is for an MUPD, and we're in the growth management, the agricultural tier, as you know. This is the site. It's, again, it's on State Road 7, and it's just north of the Lorena Road. And the Lorena Road, I'm going to show you right now, is actually on the property itself. It's an easement access to the Tierra Del Rey residential project behind us. Currently, the project, and I'll show you this in a minute, stops. But this is the existing land use. The northern piece at Atlantic is commercial low with agricultural reserve land use. This site is on October 24th, 23, was changed to commerce with agricultural reserve. You can see the site here. This was done in 2021. It was updated and is a industrial with again a agricultural reserve below it, and you can see the site of the Olympus MUPD, or the project site that we have here. Existing zoning, again, this is the proposed MUPD that's going forward for the EJKJ industrial project, and you can see that the current existing zoning is consistently going down south on State Road 7. This is where the commerce line exists currently. It stops at Rio Grande Avenue. And then, of course, this is the EJK industrial site that is going through the process right now. And we're asking to move that line down to take in the currently land use industrial, and also including this site, which is a logical progression in that area. And again, as we meet the requirements of fronting on State Road 7 and also in line with that. So the request has the intent to provide support services for the agricultural businesses, and intent which is the intent of this area. We're looking to do a office warehouse. The warehouse will be cold storage, and will include provide storage of food products and other items that were necessary for the agricultural community. And you'll see some comment letters in a few minutes. The properties on the west side of 7 have access to the major thoroughfare. This site does. We're actually going to be using the same access point that we have now. We have a number of letters from interested parties. This is from the Western Palm Beach County Farm Bureau. They're recommending, of course, that the commission consider this facility because it will be providing much needed storage for food products and other agricultural products in this area. As we know, the Thomas Farms facility is closed. This is from Fat Pickle, which is a pickle agricultural product preparation company. They're also recommending highly that this facility be available for them as well, for their business. This is the Top Shelf Agricultural business, and they are also highly recommending that this facility be available in the Ag Reserve to provide them also storage for their products as they bring them to the tables of everyone else. And this is TKM Vanguard Farms. They're also providing a letter to the commission to recommend this facility. The staff has put in a number of conditions of approval. These 4, if the Planning Commission so agrees to provide approval for the project to go forward. They've asked for us to have an accessory office use would serve the primary use of the site and function as one integrated operation. This is for one user. It's not being used for anyone else except the Olympus organization. The westernmost 150 feet of the site shall be limited to landscaping, water retention, drainage, and parking. The vehicular ingress and egress to Lorena Road shall be limited to emergency access only, and the proposed future land use amendment and the proposed zoning shall be considered for adoption by the Board of County Commissioners at the same public hearing. We are agreeing to all these conditions, and I think that we've been providing that consistency with our concurrent zoning application that's going through that will be heard later through the process. This is the site survey of the site. There was 2 parcels. You can see some former development on the south portion. And this is Lorena Road. It's an easement that goes through my client's property. He's agreeing to the condition to not access that except for any emergency vehicles. It'll be gated with a Knox box mechanism, probably electronic Knox box, that would only allow fire rescue and police or sheriff department access through that area. So he's giving up his ability to access that portion of the property. I put this in because it's in your package. This is our conceptual plan for the subsequent zoning application. We are adhering to the reduced FAR that was just approved by the County Commission. They went from 0.45 FAR to 0.35, and actually the site plan that you see before you, which is in the process now, is at 0.25. So we're well under the square footage. The 96,000 square feet that you have in your application, of course, is the maximum allowed by the land use change for this area. We had to do a traffic study to show that we meet the requirements, which we do. However, we're just a little bit above 70,000 on here, so we're actually only be able to get 0.25 FAR. We've designed the site to hopefully assist the residential property behind us and putting a larger green area as a buffer to the office complex. This is, again, single user. The existing driveway, which is there now, will continue to be the driveway for the project. And then the emergency access would be on this side. It's located at that point. And there will be no other access to Lorena Road. So, in conclusion, we're asking to revise the comp plan to allow sites north of Lorena Road to ask for the Commerce Flu, to allow a comprehensive plan amendment from agricultural reserve land use designation to commerce land use. And we know the staff has recommended denial. We think that there has been changes in circumstances here. The EJKJ site has continued the industrial and the commerce uses to this area. The change, the Sunflower property adjacent to us is industrial, and I think that this property is providing the agricultural uses that are really the intent of the ag reserve area. Yes, we have residential area. We will be very concerned in making sure that we buffer and do everything possible, but this use is to support the agricultural community. And with that, I will be here to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time. Can we hear from Travis now on behalf of the county?
Morning, Commissioners. Travis Goodson for the Planning Division. The item before you is a text and future land use amendment known as the Olympus MUPD, formerly known as Gold Coast Logistics. You considered the text initiation phase of this application back in the spring, and the County Commission voted on their May 3rd comp plan hearing to initiate the text amendment, following which the applicant submitted this concurrent future land use amendment to go along with that. So specifically, the text amendment proposes to revise the commerce location criteria within the ag reserve tier in order to allow sites north of Lorena Road to be eligible for the commerce flu designation. Currently, this applies just right now to sites north of Rio Grande Avenue, which is the entrance to the Dakota community. The land use amendment component is seeking the commerce designation on 6.33 acres. That's at the northwest corner of Lorena Road and State Road 7. Concurrent zoning application proposes MUPD for the warehouse and accessory office. So the commerce flu designation, which was adopted in August of 2022, contains specific location criteria within the ag reserve tier. They include policy requirements that eligible sites have frontage and access on State Road 7 north of Rio Grande Avenue, Boynton Beach Boulevard, or Atlantic Avenue, or to have access to these three roadways through an existing commercial or industrial site. The red dashed line currently shows this eligibility segment on State Road 7, and with this next click, the applicant is proposing to move that about a quarter mile south so that the subject site would become eligible to request the commerce designation. So this graphic depicts the surrounding area for the subject site. Adjacent to the site are residential uses within the Tierra del Rey subdivision, and additional residential uses to the east across State Road 7, including Dakota and I think it's Sussman. To the north is the Sunflower Industrial Site that was submitted and processed and approved prior to the commerce designation. Staff had recommended denial on that one as well. Just to the north of that is the newest commerce designation. That's the EJKJ site adjacent to the Amerigrow chipping and mulching. That one was adopted by the board on August 24th. And then there's pre-existing industrial on the north and south sides of Atlantic Avenue and State Road 7, and then the commercial low parcel supporting the Wawa and some shops at the southwest corner. So staff assessment and looking at the text amendment, these policies for the commerce and the location criteria in the ag reserve were adopted as recent as August of 2022, following over a year of board discussion and workshops and public input. No change circumstances have been identified since that time to warrant reconsideration of those adopted policies at this time. For compatibility, this proposed light industrial commerce site is adjacent and proximate to existing residential uses. And staff finds merit that the proposed use and the site design as shown on the conceptual site plan and the preliminary site plan submitted with the zoning division don't adequately protect those adjacent residential uses, actually may generate those negative impacts. The site is not eligible right now to request the commerce designation without the text amendment approval. However, it does meet all the other CMR policies for requesting commerce and the minimum to maximum size. No preserve is required because the site's less than 16 acres in size. And so considering this information, staff is recommending denial. Today's recommended motion would be to recommend denial. However, as Mr. Gentile alluded to, staff is recommending a few conditions of approval should this board recommend approval of this request. And these are in an attempt to try to mitigate negative impacts that we foresee as much as possible. As you saw in the site plan, the accessory office is separate from the warehouse use, which is not typical, and so staff's recommending that they continue to function as one interconnected use so that there's no opportunity for different commercial uses to come into that building. The westernmost 150 feet be limited to the landscaping, water and drainage, parking, vehicular ingress, egress to Lorena Road be only for emergency access, and that the BCC to consider the rezoning application and this application at the same hearing so they can see the site plan and everything together in one piece. So that'll conclude my presentation. We're here for questions.
Okay, thank you so much. At this time, I do have several comment cards. Also, entered into the record, there is a letter of opposition from the Alliance of Delray Residential Associations, which I believe has been submitted to the staff, so we'll want that on the record. First comment card, if you to come up to podium 1, is Cliff Mertz. In 3 minutes. And if you could state your name and address, please, sir.
Yes, my name is Cliff Hertz.
Hertz,
my address is 360 Rosemary Avenue, Suite 1410, West Palm Beach. And I am here on behalf of the on behalf of the Tierra del Rey Association. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, you know, I love our county. I think it's a great county. We have so many opportunities for different lifestyles for people to live. I spent 25 years living in Jupiter Farms on 2.5 acres with horses, and I really relate to the residents behind this proposed project. But I've also chosen to live in an urban environment since then. For 18 years, I've lived with trains, planes, and automobiles in West Palm Beach, and I can tell you it's a totally different lifestyle, but it's one that I chose. So I chose that for myself. Why am I willing to be here representing an association and I'm typically representing development interests and landowners? One, the incompatibility of a distribution center with diesel fumes and backing up beeping trucks next to a residential rural community with horses and animals who will undoubtedly be affected by that type of noise and fumes is one, and it's pretty obvious to me. This is the first time in 40 years that I've ever represented a group that was opposing a development, and I'm proud to do so in this case. The second is the client has not a NIMBY attitude. They understand there's going to be some development in front of this community, but they are looking for something that is more resident serving and not something that is industrial in nature. So they're very flexible, and that was also a big factor in the undertaking this representation. If they said, no, we just want it to stay the way it is and we can put one house on 5 acres, I would have said probably this isn't for me. But because of the flexibility, that was a big factor. Looking at the site itself, the site to the north, which has got an industrial land use, as George pointed out, is a operating landscape company. They've been there forever. They zoned it industrial, or they land used it industrial a few years back because they wanted to continue their landscaping operation. And the only way they could do it at that time was to get this designation. My understanding is they have no intention whatsoever of changing that use. But most importantly, that use backs up to a nursery.
I'm sorry,
doesn't
sir.
back up.
We do have a 3-minute time limit. I'm sorry. If you could just wrap it up quickly.
So anyway, this is not the equivalent of these other parcels, and I think it's a false equivalency that's trying to be created. But most importantly, it's incompatible, and I think you need to take that into consideration. Staff has also noted certain inconsistencies with the existing comprehensive plan, so you're going to create an internal inconsistency if this goes forward.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming in. Thank you. Also now, if Mr. Arnold Katz would like to come up to podium 1 for 3 minutes. And if you could, sir, state your name and address for the record as well.
Good morning. My name is Arnie Katz. I live at 6123 Caladium Road, Delray Beach, and I am here representing the Alliance of Delray, as I am the Executive Vice President, and the residents of Delray, especially the communities adjacent to this applicant's location, such as Tierra del Rey and the Dakota and others. We feel that this property and its projected use would further burden the existing traffic situation along Atlantic as well as 441. This type of property or project is really geared to very large trucks, diesel, 45-footers, that would add to the congestion along 441 and Atlantic and impact the way of life to the residents in relatively expensive homes alongside and adjacent to this area. This would require the truck traffic to head south, make a U-turn in front of Rio Poco and Saturnia Isles to get back to Atlantic to access the turnpike, which is the major road that they would use to further this use that they are intending with the cold storage for the ag community. While we recognize that fact that that is a necessary item in our area, we think that this is the same with no changes. We've been opposing this for 1.5 years, and all for the same reasons. Nothing has changed. It would still bring excessive truck traffic. After the U-turn, it would bring a backup, we believe, at the traffic light at Atlantic and 441, and possibly extend past the entrance to Dakota. We just don't feel that this is a good mix, and we agree with staff, and we would appreciate a denial on this application. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And I have one other comment card, Mr. Andrew Rips. I'd like to come up and speak, please. And, sir, if you could state your name and address for the record as well.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Rips, resident at 10322 El Paraiso Place, and president of Tierra del Rey, a 78 parcel owner, equestrian, agricultural, and multi-community called Tierra del Rey. Our community was established in 1979, 44 years ago. In fact, almost 10 years before the adoption of the 1989 Comprehensive Plan and the creation of what we call the Ag Reserve. After meeting twice with the applicant and professional team, we continue to oppose the now AKA Gold Coast Olympus application. Again, it is not compatible. Through this journey, I've come to appreciate the hard work and challenges of our commissioners, our county staff, and you, the Planning Committee. Thank you. Furthermore, you all got it right back in April only 5 months ago when you all denied this application. I also think there's no new information. Putting a distribution center, approximately 70,000 square feet, on this postage-size 6-acre lot would undo all the hard and good work done through the years. Distribution centers have semi-trucks, and even today's Palm Beach Post article highlighted the risks of semi-trucks if this application were to be approved. The previous board commissioners last year, I think, also got it right by denying it and putting up this Rio Grande line. I also believe the current commissioners this year got it right when they at least created a bureaucratic process to approve an amendment of a landowner and to petition it. However, caveat emptor, due diligence, and details matter. And to the point, what is compatible? Number one, traffic. We've heard about it numerous times. The staff has denied it. The prior board has denied it. You, 5 months ago, denied it. Quality of life. I live with farmers, mango trees, people with chickens that lay eggs, horses that are trotting, and horses that are riding. And it's not good to have a neighbor with a chicken coop. It's great. Getting a dozen eggs with a bow around Christmas is a pretty cool thing that we decided to live and do 44 years ago. Economic growth. I'm an entrepreneur. I appreciate the possibility, but go look. There are 18 properties for cold storage in Palm Beach right now. Go to LoopNet. There's 700,000 square feet already approved for such a use. Pick it in the right place. Lastly, environmental consideration. Beep, beep, diesel noise. I may have to offer pressure washing and painting to my neighbor community now, given the additional scenario. We do have community cohesion. You heard it from the Alliance, Rio Poco, myself. We would appreciate your support once again in making this denial. And while it may be September, I don't want it to be Groundhog's Day.
Got it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate your time as well. Okay, no further comment cards. I'll then now look to my colleagues if they have any questions for the applicant or the county. I'll start down here. Marissa, anything at all you'd like to ask?
No, thank you.
Okay, thanks. David, nothing? Good. Holly?
I do have a question for George. You'd brought up a couple of specific farmer letters and organization letters. Am I correct that the subject site actually lies within the Eastern Palm Beach County Farm Bureau jurisdiction and not the Western Palm Beach County Farm Bureau membership designation?
I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not, I have to be honest with you, I'm not sure.
We actually have 2 county farm bureaus in our county. So it's my understanding that this site lies in the eastern.
And in the letter, it was noted that the product that are grown in both areas are different because this is more of a sandy area. So you get your tomatoes and other vegetables, and then we have different products that are out in the glades area because of the muck soil. So, but anyway, that.
Okay. Did you happen to bring a full copy of those? Because I know in your PowerPoint you then highlighted, and I couldn't read all of them.
I believe they were sent to the county, but I did not bring them. But I would be glad to get them to you all.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I don't have any further questions.
Thank you. Angela?
More question about staff. The property that's basically to the north of it, well, let me reverse that. What uses today are allowed on this site? By right, I see it's what, 41,480 square feet of agriculture uses. What does that entail?
I'll let, so the Unified Land Development Code, the use matrix lays out what the allowable uses are within AGR. So I might turn it over and see if Wendy Hernandez, the Deputy Zoning Director, wants to chime in.
I don't have all the exact uses because I don't have the code here,
Just
but
general.
generally it'd be the agricultural uses. You can have a residence, one per 5 acres, I believe. But yeah, mostly agricultural uses that are allowed in this zoning district.
No, it's my growing or packing house or
Packing
Yeah,
houses.
transshipment, yeah.
Yes.
Did you have a farmer-owned cold store?
Yes.
all right,
They could have packing house, yes.
Okay.
all right. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Andrew. Barbara?
Thank you, Chair. I don't want to seem to brag, but I think we got it right 5 months ago. And I remember the discussion very clearly. I remember the discussion about application of the commerce use in the Ag Reserve. If I were to place a motion, it would be to recommend denial.
Okay. Moving down, Ankur?
No questions.
Okay, Penny? Penny? Anything, Penny? No? Okay, John?
I have a question for the applicant, George. Have you considered or have you been able to look at modifying and downsizing, moving it, and working with the residents to make it compatible?
We haven't, we just submitted the concurrent zoning with the site plan, and we've gotten some comments from staff, and it's being resubmitted. This is probably the least amount we're allowed by the current revision to the plan to allow 0.35 FAR, and we're at 0.25, so we're well below that. And we would be glad to work on whatever we might do with buffering and that type of stuff with the residents in that area.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like from the farmers out there, the facilities needed, however, the residents out there, because the size, the traffic, the location, there's some pushback. Is that correct?
Well, I think that's what you heard today. This is the agricultural reserve area, so anything that would benefit the agricultural activities out there is certainly important to every one of the remaining farmers and people that are dealing with it. And we think this is an appropriate use in that area. And my client just happens to have this property. So, yeah.
I don't disagree. I think it's a beautiful facility. I think it's something that's probably needed there. I think the problem is the size and the way it's laid out. And you have residents, and when you hear people come up, and it puts me, let's put it with me, in a situation where, you have respected members of the community come up and with the problem, and then we have respected applicant come up. It's difficult because knowing that it's probably needed out there from the farmers, hearing what they're saying, and then hearing from the residents and looking at the layout, there's got to be a way there can be a compromise to make this work. But thank you.
Thank you.
Sam? None. Dagmar?
All right, this is just the question time, not the comment time, correct, Mr. Chairman?
Well, we sort of morphed a bit, but
Okay, well, I'd like to have questions first and then an opportunity to comment later. If you look at the map that's on the screen right now, on Atlantic Avenue and 441, that IND means industrial use, correct? Could this facility be located in that area?
Yes, the
Thank you.
proposed use would be allowed.
And further towards the north, the Mulva Hill property just got approved for industrial commerce. How many square feet was that approved for? It's over 800,000 square feet. So this use would also be able to be located on the Mulva Hill property, correct?
Yes, that would be an allowable use on commerce
Okay.
there.
And when they put together the commerce industrial language, which was approved 13 months ago, okay? The line in the sand was Rio Grande, correct? Just to the north of this site, correct?
Correct. That was the southern extent on State Road 7 allowed, yes.
Those are all my questions for the moment. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think, my question / comment would be that I think this is an excellent project. I just think it's in search of a home. The line in the sand is a line in the sand, whether you miss it by a quarter of a mile or you miss it by 3 miles, that it's a line of demarcation, unfortunately, at this point. My concerns also would be, the buffer, the traffic first and foremost. It's probably outside of my area of expertise to question whether or not the size of the parcel is adequate for the project per se, but the buffering and the other issues are viable concerns. So, having gone through the commission at this point, let's see if anybody wants to make a motion for or against this project, then we can move forward from there. Commissioner Roth.
I move to recommend denial of this project.
Second.
A second from
Second from
David. Okay, thank you. Any discussion amongst my commissioners? I'll start down here with Dagmar.
Thank you.
We'll go this way.
The project that we had right before us, Risa from Heritage Farms. The developer was working with her, but their backs were against the wall. They really, it's progression. And she said, after this one, please no more. Do you remember that? 5 minutes ago. When Mr. Gentile opened his comments, his first sentence was, they'd like to take advantage of this, okay? They are taking advantage of this situation right here. Again, I already went over it's Rio Grande right now, and now they want to change it to Lorena, Lorena Road, all right? This is just so inappropriate. This is just so shooting in the dark. I've already brought out all the opportunities that these people have to build on an existing industrial commerce site. The property to the north, which is Sunflower Nursery, was in business for 40 years. It's still a plant nursery with landscaping trucks going in and out. If you look at one of your aerial sites, you'll see there's no huge, big, square building. It's a landscape company. The property to the right, to the north of it, what were those letters again? LG, I don't remember. That was just approved also. That was basically an infill. But again, that property is in front of a mulching facility, okay? It's not in front of multi-million-dollar homes. Okay, so that's a completely different scenario as well. For them just to pick out this site because they own the property is just so awful. It's not a logical progression, the way their representative said. It is a blatant slap in the face of everyone saying, this is the line, Rio Grande Avenue. And now they want to push it a little bit further. I strongly appeal to all of you to say, no, thank you.
Sam? No. Okay. John? Penny? Unkar?
I agree with what you had said, Chair, about there's a need, but this is not the right location for it. I think the project could have, it's good, but I mean, it's not the correct place for it. I do agree with some of the sentiments that some of the commissioners have said about where the locations need to be, and the community has spoken up that this is not it. So I think it's important.
Thank you, sir. Barbara, anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay. Moving to my left. Angela? Kylie? No? Gentlemen? And Brissa, anything? No. I have no further comments on the motion as well, so I'd like to call the question and kindly ask for a roll call vote.
Vote call for denial. John Carr.
No.
Oh.
Barbara Roth.
Hold on, question.
Wait a second.
No.
No, it's for denial.
Yes for denial. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, just clarify. Thank you.
Barbara Roth.
Yes.
Penny Pompey.
Yes or no?
Dagmar Bras.
Yes, for denial.
Yeah. Sam Caliendo.
Yes.
Kylie Harper Larson.
Yes.
Angela Van.
Yes.
Ankur Patel,
Yes.
Rick Stopik,
Yes.
David Searle,
Yes.
Brian Stenberg,
Yes.
Barissa Laudas,
Yes.
motion passes for denial.
Thank you all. We appreciate it. Okay, that concludes the items for public hearing today. Moving through agenda item 4. Any comments from my fellow commission members? Ankur? Yes.
I think that we should consider when we're talking about rural tier and possibly PUDs going forward, whether it's an RRPUD or a regular PUD, that at some point we require some green space requirements. There is an open space requirement, but open space is not necessarily green space. We're taking ag land and theoretically turning it into a sprawl, whether it's urban, suburban, or whatever it is. I think it's important for us to maintain some form of greenery in that area, and I think green space is something that I would like to see, being addressed in at least the rural tier, if not anywhere else. So that's just a comment I have after looking through some of these plans and stuff. So,
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from my commissioners to the right? Nothing on the right? How about on the left over here? Anybody, any good in welfare at all? Nothing? Okay. Executive Director.
Hi, everyone. Since workforce housing was a concern today, if it makes sense, then we would be happy to come back with some updates on where we're at with that, and basically just an overview of the program and some of the changes that are coming forward that we're working on, and also some of the current direction with the board on civic sites and potential for using that for affordable workforce housing in the future.
I think there's a real sensitivity towards keeping it on site, is what I'm hearing from my fellow commissioners.
Right.
Not to mention the fact that the growth is out west, and you're just running out of land even on the east side. And the east side land is so damn expensive right now.
Right.
I mean,
And the board has, is very sensitive to that as well. And so I think it's a balance that we're all trying to work through. So we'd be happy to bring back an update on where we're at with current updates and board, different changes that we're making to the program.
Driving from Port St. Lucie is bad enough. Just try driving from east to west any time of day.
Right.
Especially after school started. It's virtually impossible.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
We all experience it. We all know.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question of staff?
Sure.
On the same line. At one point, I think the director was going to give us an update every meeting about what the BCC has done.
Yeah, it's coming.
I think it's coming.
Give me about,
Yes.
give me about 30 seconds. We're going
Yes. Transition,
we're almost
great
there.
transition,
We're
great
almost there.
transition.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am? That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And from our esteemed county attorney.
No, I'll let Kevin get right to his
You've been
presentation.
very quiet today. He was very subdued. All right. The planning director.
All right. Good morning again. So, yes, so there had been an expression of interest as a follow-up after the Board of County Commissioner hearing, looking at what the recommendation was for the items when they were before the Planning Commission, and then what the action was by the Board of County Commissioners. So for each Planning Commission after a County Commission comp plan hearing, you'll see under Planning Director comments, there's a link to a matrix that has all of the items that were at the last comprehensive plan hearing, what their vote was, and then what the Planning Commission recommended for each of those items, so that you all can keep up with what's occurring at the board. Another thing, there was at the last Planning Commission hearing, some interest expressed in hearing from one of the newest, or maybe the newest county department, the Office of Resilience. So I've reached out to the director, and we've scheduled at the November hearing, they'll provide a little update of their major objectives and focus of that department.
Is that next to the Office of Redundancy, or is that
Resiliency?
just want to know where I can find them. I just,
The last comment I had was just that we do have a few items scheduled for both the October and November hearings. So those
that was my next question. Yeah, what does October look like?
So we will have a few amendments, and we'll also have an organizational meeting, annual organizational meeting, where you choose the next chair and vice chair, and also the dates for 2024.
Okay, so that's October. November is looking like?
November is a little lighter. Yeah, October is maybe a lengthier day to give you a heads up.
Got it. That's October 13th.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
Thank you, Chair. Planning Director, you just reminded me of something. So, Office of Resiliency, but we used to have someone from traffic generally, and even today, we had at least 2 instances of reference to a traffic question.
I agree with you.
Might we have someone?
Yes, and
Thank
we were discussing that. So I will follow up with engineering to make sure that there's always someone in attendance
I agree with
can
that.
address those questions.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Good. No comments, no any further comments? Motion to adjourn? Penny, anybody, just for the record?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Got it. Thank you all. See you in about a month.
We're hustling.
I'm running up there.
Careful.
I remembered.